I'm going to give you 3 reasons why this is the best coupe for the money. This is a 2025 Mercedes AMG GLC 63 SE Performance Coupe in moonlight white over AMG Napa leather titanium gray on black. This is the most performance in any of the class. BMW doesn't have something that can even compete with this, nor does Audi. It's a handcrafted 2.0 4-cylinder hybrid with electric exhaust gas turbocharged with nearly 700 horsepower. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to start off with the front, how dynamic it looks. You get the vertical bars, the enlarged Mercedes badging that goes into the digital lights. Now this is part of the Pinnacle trim, the AMG package. We have the carbon package. The M1391 engine is not just handcrafted, but literally it's like a mad scientist, because you're getting over 230 horsepower per liter. And then to match that, the rear has its own designated battery that gives us a total output of 671 horsepower and 752 pound-feet of torque. That's more than impressive, because you're getting 35 miles all-electric range, reaching 60 at 3.7 seconds. You get a combined of 31 mpges. Now, when you just use the gas variant, you're getting 20 mpgs, but either way you cut the cookie, I mean, this thing is literally a madhouse with performance. And that's paired to an AMG Speed Shift MCT 9G Tronic automatic transmission with a wet start-off clutch automatic transmission. It's crazy that this is a plug-in hybrid. 21-inch staggered wheel setup. So we got a 265/40 up front, matched with a 295/35 out back. 6 pistons are housed behind those red brake calipers, vented, slotted. This is a track-ready vehicle. Now, when you're thinking about the standard GLC, it's around 50 grand. This one's gonna start around 86. The one we're showcasing today is around 110. Is it worth the extra price? Yes, because this is night and day difference of a drive. You got AMG Performance 4MATIC with AMG ride control suspension with adaptive damping. And of course, the brakes are AMG enhanced with 2.5 degree rear axle steering, so it is a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. That's a con to me though, because it's kind of like cheating. But all the technology that they put in to this handcrafted engine is the first reason why this is definitely worth your money. So now listen to this technology. The 1.6-inch thin electric motor, it's integrated directly on the shaft of the turbocharged between the turbine wheel on the exhaust side and the compression wheel on the intake side. Now this directly drives the shaft for the turbocharge, and it's electrically controlled, accelerating the compressor wheel before the exhaust gas flows, and this takes over the drive in the conventional manner. It's just crazy. This is F1 technology for a vehicle that starts in the $80,000 price. Now, when you think about BMW, they have changed their vehicle quite a bit. Now, they have increased the performance, but it is a lot more electrified looking, and some people don't like the styling. Here, you're not gonna go wrong. This is an AMG. You may be concerned about that Turbo 4, but with all the hybrid technology, I'm all right with it. You can go up to 87 miles per hour on just the electric motor itself. That gets over 200 horsepower to this vehicle. Standard LED taillights that integrate into the gloss black with the AMG quad exhaust tips. But like I said at the beginning, this is a sports car lifted up. Any vehicle is going to cost more money than this example. You go into Audi, you have to go into an RS line, in which it's not going to be comparable to this, because this is a smaller package. But let me know your thoughts about how much performance you get out of this. I mean, over 170-mile top speed, track-worthy GLC, that itself blows my mind. Power liftgate going into 16.6 cubic feet of storage. It's a coupe, so it's going to sit up. You get the privacy cover, 12-volt charger, bag holders on both sides, full LED for the interior, and push these buttons to fold down. The rear seat at a 60-40 split, maxing cargo to 54 cubic feet of storage. And underneath the floor gets a little bit of storage. And check this thing out. If it'll open, bear with me. Oh, there it is. It's not just a turbocharge, it's e-performance. We need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. key fob for the GLC 63 SE Performance. We have Napa leather, heated ventilated front seats, 16-way power seat adjustment, contrast stitch, memory for the driver and passenger. Carbon fiber, this is an upgrade. You have the contrast stitch with the circular air vents. It's going to be more sporty with 11.9-inch touchscreen for the inbox. Let's fire it up. The Pinnacle trim adds the navigation as well as sound personalization with the 3D surround sound through Burmaster enhanced ambient lights. Off-road dash display that's transparent for the hood, the LED digital lights for the exterior, and the inbox augmented video for navigation, as well as the AMG heads-up display, heated and noise insulated glass. Now going on to this infotainment screen first, because there's just a lot of technology. You don't just have navigation with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You have a track pack. You have, for your comfort, for the seat connects. It's similar to like a massage seat. It's going to move the seat back and forward. You have the off-road page, your charging information. This will show you the pinch and roll, the performance page, which you can also do track information here, which will save the data, and it literally will save everything of the vehicle to make it as performance drive as possible. Here's that track pack. You are getting a ton of features right here. You can also stream with a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. What I like about Mercedes is you not only have this, but you have a ton of different camera positions. You can also put it higher up and you can move all around the vehicle. So you can literally see all around you, and it's very intuitive yet simplified. Dual climate control settings in the front, a touchpad with finger recognition, as well as the AMG driving modes. And you do have a ton of different driving modes. Going into the gloss black, that opens up into a wireless charging pad, 2 USB ports, cup holders, you can push here, and you got a little area here that you can put that key fob with the ambient lighting that's going to be surrounding, auto dimming rear view mirror, swipe your finger across, heads up display with a...
setting the temperature to maximum.
No. And the gauge cluster is a full digital reader with the AMG performance steering wheel with the Napa leather, and you get the microfiber on the sides. And the nice thing is these are touch pads here. So when you click onto the home button, you can scroll and change a lot of different views for the gauge cluster. And this side here is a touchpad for the inbox. So I like how easy it is, and because this is the AMG Performance, you can change the 8 different driving modes right here to make it a little bit easier, as well as the suspension taking the traction control with the large paddle shifts. Center cluster, 2 more USB. It's a pretty decent size in the depth. You get a little storage box right here. Headroom, I can fit, as well as leg space. And when you're considering these vehicles, it's literally a sports car lifted up into an SUV. Unfortunately, there isn't any pass-through or any sleeve for mail or any storage. Door panel and dashboard connect together nicely. I would like to see the carbon fiber kind of come into play, but let me know your thoughts on that. You get the gloss black here. You get the aluminum here, as well as for the Burmaster speaker mesh with a long storage pocket. For the back seat, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with the armrest. And this is a pin holder, as well as a cup holder, where you can fold that up and fit 3 with the circular air vent, a storage cubby with 2 USB ports and storage behind both of the front seats. We're gonna fold this up for later. You get the red seat belts, and I do like the stitch work that comes into play. The door panel is gonna have the same materials found in the front. The only difference is the storage is a little bit smaller. This is a make or break for me. Knee space is gonna be compromised if somebody's taller than 6'3". This is the way I would be sitting, but leg and shoulder space is not an issue, but the rails are an issue. You're gonna be sharing some feet space, as well as a little bit of butt and shoulder space, and headroom starts becoming a little bit compromised unless you sit back like this, in which now my knees are blocking those air vents.
In order to use this function, you have to have online voice control. Please take a look at your Mercedes Me settings.
It just wants to talk to me. This is one of the best vehicles in any class you put it, because nothing is going to be comparable against this. And you got a 6.1 kilowatt battery that has a combined total of 201 horsepower. That's peak horsepower, however. So what happens is you're not going to get the full throttle of that at all points. But when you want to really give it, it does have a boost that gives you 10 seconds of peak torque for the full 10 seconds, which is crazy, because when you're talking 671 horsepower, 752 pound-feet of torque, that illustrates that 3.4 to 3.7 seconds 0 to 60 rear axle steering. And it can also distribute the power from 50-50 all the way to 100% to the rear wheel whenever you are taking off. So I like that you're getting full round performance. Yet again, it's a sports car lifted up into an SUV. Because this is the Pinnacle trim, it's going to be a little bit more quiet as well in the interior. And charging time is 1 hour. That is awesome. When you're thinking of plug-in hybrid, typically it's 3 hours, 5 hours. I've even seen 9.5 hours, which is crazy. This gets it in 1 hour. So I mean, that's almost a lunch. You can literally go have your lunch and you almost have it charged. And while you're driving, the darn thing is charging all the time. So if you drive for about an hour, you're going to charge probably more than 50% of the battery, especially if you're going onto the interstate, which is another crazy perspective that Mercedes is doing. So when you add all of this together, this is the second reason why this is the way to go, the best value for your money. I get it, it's 6 figures, but you can get it under 6 figures. We're going to engage it into Sport Plus, and that changes the whole drive dramatically. Even though you have 8 or 9 different driving modes, there's really only 3 different driving patterns that the vehicle will do, meaning to dampen up the suspension so it's going to be a little bit more ridge, to make it a little bit more soft, or to just basically have that comfort drive. When you mash on the gas, it goes back. I mean, it doesn't have necessarily the most enticing exhaust note sound, but I still appreciate what I'm getting here, because this is F1 technology going to the next level. 21-inch wheels. I'm hearing the exhaust filter in a little bit more so. I throw it into comfort on the interstate, it's going to quiet up pretty significant. You're not going to hear the engine at all. Because it's a hybrid, it's going to go between the two. That's going to take me to some pros and cons. And starting off with the pros, we got the AMG performance steering wheel, so you can change all the dynamics on here. You can configure the infotainment screen, the 12.3 gauge cluster. Everything is a lot more seamless and cleaned up and easy for the driver to operate, as well as voice recognition. I'm going to stop right here and give her a go. But because of how much performance we have, we're going to stop right here and give her a go. She is quick. Quick and fun. And I would say the best part about it is when you go into things like BMW. I love BMW. I think they make an excellent vehicle. The ride to this is smoother. Even though I have it in race mode. You're not going to get that same feel when you go BMW. Plus, the new X3 is not even comparable to this. This is literally like almost double the performance of that vehicle, especially when you're talking about going a straight line. Weight distribution, this has the rear axle steering at 2.5 degrees, which makes it basically a perfect 50-50. But there is some cons. There's a lot going on underneath the hood, which can be concerning, and that also can be a problem, because if these things go bad, I mean, let's face it, it doesn't matter how much power you have, the vehicle's not gonna drive. Even though we have all this power and everything, this is the other problem I have. It's fast and quick off the line, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't seem to have that same punch as a bi-turbo V8. Don't get me wrong, they're doing an excellent job, and by far this is, like I said, the best bang for your buck, considering you can get this package under $90,000. But the last reason why this is worth every penny is this is the fourth vehicle that Mercedes has come out with this powertrain. You're basically getting a C63S E-Performance for a fraction of the price with an SUV/wagon, meaning you're gonna have more space in the back seat, you got more cargo capacity, it sits up higher. This is more of an everyday drive, still packing the performance of something that nobody can compete with in its class. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Mercedes-Benz of Clearwater for giving us this 2025 Mercedes GLC E63 Performance for our car review.